Hello, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, the rumpled one. The Confederate flag. Man, has this country lost its collective brain, its mind. It's just going crazy. It really is. I mean, there's many ways to look at it, and there really is no right or wrong, but here's my take on it. Okay, we got the First Amendment. That means you're free to fly whatever flag you want. That's your freedom of expression. So if you want to wear a t-shirt or a hat with a Confederate flag, all power to you. Same thing if you want to wear the Japanese rising sun. Or if you even want to wear, the swastika, the Third Reich. In America, that's the way it is. All power to you. Now, when it comes to government buildings, I don't think there's anybody in this country, well, there might be a few people, but I think they'd be in a very small minority that would find it okay to hoist a swastika above a government building. I don't think anybody's going to come and disagree. Now, with the Confederate flag, it's a whole different story because it was born here in America, but it represented something that was un-American. The Confederacy wanted to secede from the Union. Now, whether or not that's their right, yeah, that's debatable. That's a whole nother topic. But the fact of the matter is they lost the war. And that flag has come to mean different things to different people. Some groups find it a symbol of pride, and other groups find it a symbol of hatred. And since it is a divisive flag, personally, I really don't think it should be flying over state capitals. Now, it's not flying over any state capital that I've happened to live in, so I really don't have much to say about it there. But I think it should maybe be put up to a vote. But then again, majority rule is mob rule, just under a different name. So, if people want to wear their Confederate flags, put them on their bumper stickers and decals, that's all well and good. But like I said, I think the thing about the states, I think it's time that we move forward and recognize that it is offensive to a large segment of the population. Not a majority, but like I said, it is offensive. Personally, I grew up technically the South, Washington, D.C. and Maryland. That's below the Mason-Dixon line. And my father grew up in North Carolina, so traveling, through that area, I've seen Confederate flags. And the thing is, it has, like I said, it has different meaning. If I were to go someplace, I see a bunch of pickup trucks, and they all got Confederate flags, and the door's got a Confederate flag, or they're flying one, chances are, let's just be realistic, I'm not going to be too welcome there. That's just the way it is. No, we're not going to sugarcoat it. I might be lucky to get out with my life. It's just that simple. And you know what I'm talking about. So let's not BS each other here. Now, are all places like that? Is everybody flying the flag like that? No. No, they're not like that. But the thing is, it's hard for somebody to know different. How am I supposed to know? I mean, I just have to assume the worst. I mean, that's just common sense. I mean, there's some places in America, depending on the color of your skin, you're not welcome there. It's just, if you go into some, inner city ghetto in New York or LA, and you happen to be light-skinned, you might not come out alive, Fact of the matter is, I might not come out alive either, because I'm not from around there. I'm on somebody else's turf. And that's just the way it is in America in the 21st century. But I think people have taken it a little too far when the TV stations are now banning the Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, and NASCAR doesn't want the Confederate flag flying at their events. I mean, it's just gone. I think it's just taking it. The pendulum swung too far. I mean, that's just borderline ridiculous. But then again, that's just my opinion. I mean, other people would say, well, you know, like you're saying, it's no different than flying a swastika. It's offensive to some people. We don't want to offend people. So, you see, the thing is, it's a hard line. And some people want to say, well, how can you compare the a swastika flag to a Confederate flag? You know, they want to focus on the differences. But you see, the thing is, they're saying that the Confederate flag is a symbol of pride and things like that, their heritage. Well, that's the same thing that the people flying the swastika could say. So you see, it gets really murky. But the bottom line is that, you know, we're supposed to be the United States of America. United. But I tell you, things are just dividing this country like crazy. And you know, this social media, it is one of the most divisive things out there. I mean, social. No, it's anti-social. Somebody goes on there and states their opinion. I mean, if it's not popular, they're going to get slammed. I mean, it's going to start all kind of wars. I mean, it's very, Twitter's the same way. You post something on there, and it just divides people. It's so divisive. I mean, it's almost, I almost wish they never invented Facebook, to tell you the truth, because it is so divisive. Now, there's benefits. You can definitely stay in touch with your friends and family. Hey, you get news from all over the world. But it just goes to show how the nature of a lot of people. How if you put your opinion out there, they won't even debate the opinion. They want to attack you. I mean, let's segue into Donald Trump. I mean, going for president. I mean, look at the stuff that he's taken. You know, he's saying things that a lot of people are saying behind closed doors, saying in a whisper. He's got what it takes to stand up, get in front of the TV and broadcast his opinion all over the world for people to see. And there's a lot of people that believe in what he says. I mean, and for having his beliefs, he's got a couple of TV contracts canceled. I think he got another sponsorship canceled. A couple vendors are leaving him, so he has to find someplace else to produce his product. Now, whatever happened to free speech? I mean, shouldn't we defend to the death his right to say what he has to say, even though we might not particularly like it, but he's got a right to say it. But then to use, you know, economic sanctions against him, I mean, it happens small time. You say, you know, if you believe the wrong thing in a small town, then you get ostracized, you get shunned. You know, you might not be able to work in that town anymore. It's just very interesting how we, the people in America, treat each other when our opinions are differing. I mean, I understand, you know, there's a lot of divisive things. The Supreme Court rulings of late, very divisive. I mean, the whole idea of having these bathrooms where men and women can go in there. And like I said, you know, if they think that's somehow discriminatory or somehow gender bias or something, then I say let's make it simple. Poles and holes. You got a pole, you go in here. You got a hole, you go in there. And we can get rid of that whole gender. We can say it's equipment based, you know, not gender based. And the whole idea that, you know, you can be born one thing with the chromosomes for a male and then turn around and go, oh, no, I'm a female. It's just like, you know what? We do a chromosome test, you're coming up male, buddy. It's just that simple. You know? Doesn't matter how many operations you have or what kind of clothes you wear or what makeup you put on. You're still a dude. But this country has gone mad. I mean, Orwell wrote about it that, you know, we want to revise history. And, you know, in the General Lee, it's a funny show. Boss Hogg and all those guys, I watched it. You know, the Confederate flag didn't offend me on top of the car. I mean, it's just nuts what people are going through over this. And like I said, you know, I think there could be an easy line drawn. Hey, you know, personally, you get to fly what you want. First Amendment. That's easy. And, you know, and along those lines, you know, the Supreme Court somewhere said that, you know, you can't have the Ten Commandments on a building. I mean, wasn't this country founded on those principles? I mean, Obama has done a great job of unraveling what, you know, what this country started as. And he's got another year and a half to continue the madness. And my fellow Americans, tomorrow, July 4th, Independence Day. And I'm sure you've probably seen one or two of my videos talking about how ludicrous it is for us to celebrate our independence from England when we're now dependent and we have no independence from our own federal government, where just about everything we do is regulated or taxed or both. It's ridiculous. You know it, I know it. And so, my fellow Americans, this July 4th, wake up and smell the tyranny.